Hi there. I wanted to take a few minutes to go over the DRDP assignment. I know that some of you are very familiar with the forms, but some of you have questions. First, let's visit the page that has the forms. You can see we need to select if we are completing an infant toddler or preschool, school age form. There is a separate link here for you to follow for kindergarten children. This would be based on the age of the child you've been observing in your 4 observations. Once you select the correct form, you should spend time reading the instructions and familiarizing yourself with the form. If I go back to our class, I can see that there is a description of the assignment as well as the rubric. Let's look at the descriptions first. It says, be sure to refer to the rubric so you know exactly how you'll be scored. Complete a DRDP 2015 using the 4 observations you have conducted. Be sure to select the appropriate form for the age of the child. Read the instructions on how to complete the form before you begin. If your child is school-aged, you need to use the DRDPR. I recommend following these steps. Visit the site to find the correct DRDP for the age of child you will be observing. Complete the information page. Determine 15 measures you can complete based on your observations. For those measures, in each section, mark the level and then write the evidence that you have of this from your observation, including the date of the observation. Using the data you completed, mark the appropriate measures on the rating record. Finally, write a conclusion or reflection that includes how effective you feel the DRDP 2015 is as an assessment of a child's learning and development, and how you will or would use the results of the DRDP 2015 to further the child's learning. Now let's look at the rubric. You notice that you will be evaluated in 3 different areas: summary content, mechanics, and the actual DRDP. In the summary area, you see that it's worth a maximum of 4 points, and the perfect score would be that the summary reflects thoughtful evaluation of the process and completely answers both questions. Mechanics, we're looking for complete heading, less than 3 spelling or grammar errors. On the DRDP section, 14 to 15 measures completed, including date and documentation, earns you 10 points. 10 to 13, 7 points. Less than 9 measures is only going to earn you 4 points. My recommendation, make sure you've got 14 or 15 measures completed. Finally, let's look at the pages. I may have to scroll down a bit, so I hope you don't get motion sick. This is the preschool document, and the first thing we want to look at is the information page. You can see that there is information to fill out on both the child and then the observer. The date the DRDP was completed is the date it was finalized. It's very important. If you're working with a state-funded program and were evaluated by the State Department of Education, they would want to be sure that very little time has passed from the time the DRDP is completed and when the parent conference was held. Why? Because children develop so quickly. They want to be sure you are sharing very up-to-date information with the parents. Please note that the information page continues onto a second page. Complete as much as possible. All right, this is a rating record, and here's where you'll record your findings from the individual measures you completed. Let's look at a few measures. Okay. Here's where we'll mark the level. In the space at the bottom, you'll record your evidence for the level you selected. Be sure that includes your date. An example might be, Rosie continued to play with the stacking beads for 25 minutes, and then put the date after it in parentheses. You need to complete 10 to 15 measures based on the information you've gained through your observations. Your final step is to write a conclusion or reflection that includes the items we listed previously. Now, don't panic. You have just over 2 weeks to complete this. Remember, you aren't completing the entire DRDP. Well, you can if you want to, but it certainly isn't necessary. This week, I recommend you familiarize yourself with the tool and select which measures you think you can most likely assess based on your observations. You might wonder how to submit this, and here are your options. First, you can complete, print, and scan it and email it to me, or you can print, complete, and mail it to my address. I won't mark you late as long as it's postmarked by the due date. I hope this has helped you understand this assignment a little bit more. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me.